And with us now is Democratic National Committee Chair Donna Brazile. Donna, I want to start with a quote here from veteran political reporter Al Hunt. He writes this in Bloomberg. He writes, "The Democrats had a successful convention. The Republicans didn't. Clinton's campaign has been smooth. Trump's has careened between disasters. She has reached out to independents and Republicans. He has insulted the family of a soldier killed in Iraq, along with people with disabilities, Latinos, and women. Clinton has outspent him 3-1, and she's only ahead by 5 percentage points." Why do you think that is?
Well, first of all, thank you, John. It's great to be back on this show. It's been a while, and it's good to see you always. If you don't mind, let me just start by saying 53 years ago today, Dr. King gave a historic speech not far from here on the National Mall, where he raised our consciousness to talk about ways in which we can come together as Americans. And so listening to Kellyanne, I just wanted to remind our friends out there that this is a country that has made so many remarkable strides toward a more perfect union. And I'm proud to be the interim chair of the Democratic Party. We have a great election cycle this year. There's no question that the American people are looking for a candidate who will be able to, what I call, to continue to make progress, whether it's on health care, whether it's job creation, and of course keeping the country safe and secure. I'm not worried about the polls today because, as you know, the polls today reflect pretty much where the mood of the country. A lot of voters are still undecided. They're making up their minds. But Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine, over the period of the last 3 weeks, they've been able to expand their performances, not just in the so-called battleground states, but we're looking now at opportunities in Arizona and Georgia and elsewhere to continue to spread this Democratic message of inclusion, of stronger job creation, small businesses. I think we're going to have a terrific year this year.
But what Al Hunt is getting at is something we hear about a lot, which is Hillary Clinton should be doing better. And the reason she isn't is in the news in a number of different ways this week. And the first is the emails that were disclosed this week of relationships between the Clinton Foundation and the Clinton State Department. The Republicans call it pay to play. Why are they wrong about that?
Well, first of all, the Republicans call, when Republicans meet with their donors, with their supporters, their activists, they call it a meeting. When Democrats do that, they call it a conflict. It's not pay to play unless somebody, actually gave someone 50 cents to say, I need a meeting. No. In this great country of ours, when you meet with constituents, when you meet with heads of states, when you meet with people like Bono, who I love, you meet with them because they want to bring a matter to your attention. That's not pay to play. It's called that when Democrats do it. It's not called that when Republicans do it.
But what we do see in these emails is a kind of easy relationship between the foundation and the State Department. Somebody from the foundation calls and says, we've got somebody who they say is a friend of ours. And they're not saying that because they gave him a gift basket at Christmas. They're saying it because they're a big donor. They're a friend of ours. Can you have this meeting? Sometimes the meeting happened, sometimes it didn't. But there's a very easy relationship. Is that just the way Washington works? Is that the way
I don't want to say that's how Washington works. I didn't work for the foundation, but let me just say that I'm a very, very strong supporter of the Clinton Foundation. I remember back in 2001 and 2002 when Bill Clinton set up shop in Harlem and New York to begin to build a foundation that will help not just poor communities that are struggling, but developing countries with HIV/AIDS, with malaria and other disgusting diseases. So this is a foundation that has done remarkable work. Even Kellyanne Conway has said that Republicans have supported the Clinton Foundation. So whether or not, I think they had a bright purple, green, or blue line between the foundation and the State Department. There's no question that when someone knows someone and say, look, I have a friend, do you want to set up this meeting? If you look at all of the so-called chain, and I'm almost at the point where I'm exhausted reading internal emails that have been leaked or somehow or another received through the transom. When you look at it, even in the case of Bono, who I mentioned, who I love, he had a request in for his music to be streamed through NASA somewhere, and they rejected it. So there's no there. Of course, we're going to read these emails. We have a lot of interest in the gossip. Sometimes we don't have a lot of interest in the crime. And in the case of the Democratic Party, I have to mention this because I'm a little bit familiar. The Democratic Party was the victim of a cyber attack by a foreign country. And once we were attacked, the media became obsessed with what was in the emails and not the crime itself. In fact, the person who's peddling personal information of individuals involved in this spurious act He's able to come on television, I'm talking about Julian Assange, and say that I got more stuff to leak. I have more material to give out to the media. The media is focused on what I call the internal gossip and not the crime itself. And I'm worried about cybersecurity and the threat that it poses to our democracy and our country itself.
But they're concerned about the emails because the emails were in a private server. They weren't. You couldn't get through them the normal way. So this isn't just some kind of random.
And again, going back, because I like there are so many lines that you cross when you talk about emails. There's no question that whether the State Department emails that were released, the State Department emails that were leaked, the State Department emails that will come out, however you draw the conclusion, if there's no there, if because you were able to get in and see someone by making a request, be it we saw Nobel Prize winners wanting to meet with the Secretary of State. We saw heads of states, and there was a lot of people who wanted to meet. The Secretary of State, the former Secretary of State, met with literally thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of individuals.
All right, well, we're going to have to leave it there, Donna. Thanks so much for being with us, and we'll be back in 1 minute.